Hey everybody, quick announcement. I want to update you on where I'm going to be and what we've been working on recently right after this intro.
Welcome to the Safety Pro Podcast, powered by iReportSource, helping you manage safety one episode at a time. With the constant regulatory and workplace culture challenges businesses face, we'll provide you with all the relevant information necessary to achieve a safer, more productive workplace. No management theories, platitudes, or guru speak, just actionable info you can use right away. Now here's your host, the Safety Pro himself, Blaine Hoffman.
All right, quick update. I will be in New Orleans next week, so the next episode, actually multiple episodes, will be from the Voluntary Protection Program Participants Association, VPPPA, the National Safety Symposium, and that's in New Orleans, and I will be there on location podcasting. I'll talk to several folks, some VPPPA board members, about the state of safety, the future of safety in their opinion, some things you can probably use. Now, you know this format. I don't do interviews. This is not an interview-based podcast, so I'm going to approach it the same way. I'm not going to approach it like an interview. I am going to talk to these folks, and they're going to bring value to you. They're going to bring actionable information you can actually use, right? So I'm going to stick with that theme. It'll be the first time I really talk to others on the podcast, but that is not a break from this format. So just to give you a heads up, sort of bring the conference to you in the format that you're accustomed. That is breaking down some of the topics, getting away from management theory and motivational speeches, and break it down into actionable info you can use. So keep that in mind as we head into next week, and I podcast from New Orleans. That's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. Something else I wanted to bring to your attention, we wrapped up with iReportSource a webinar series, and it is out live now. You can register for that webinar if you wish. It's free, and it is based on complacency. Now, complacency and safety can be dangerous. We know this. So we wanted to tackle this problem. And let me give you the definition real quick and kind of frame the context of this webinar for you. And that is, complacency is defined as a self-satisfaction when accompanied by unawareness of actual dangers or deficiencies, especially in your environment. So that's the Webster's dictionary definition of complacency. I mean, that just screams workplace safety, right? This definition was made for our profession, for us to address. So that's what we did with this webinar. We have listed 5 ways to combat complacency and safety, how you can work on these in your workplace, in your culture, your workplace culture. And I hope that you get a lot of good information from this webinar. So the team at iReportSource is working on this every day, and I wanted to bring your attention to that and invite you to register for this webinar series. And the link will be in the show notes. You can also go to thesafetypropodcast.com. I will post the link in the blog post that will appear for this announcement episode as well. There are different ways to get to it. So if you're on a mobile device right now, you should be able to get to the show notes. If you're listening on Spotify, links don't work in the show notes. I don't know why, but they don't. Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, I'm pretty sure links work, but I encourage you to go to thesafetypropodcast.com, grab the link to this webinar. You won't be disappointed. There's a handout, and there's some great actionable information. And again, same thing, right? Every piece of information we talk about that we give you, you can actually put into action in your workplace. You can actually work on those. So check it out. 5 ways to combat complacency in safety, that free webinar series available to you right now. It's live now. And I hope to see you next week in New Orleans. If you're going to be there, I want you to stop by the registration table for VPPPA. There is a media section. We are going to have a table set up there. So don't be afraid to stop by. We want to talk to you. I want to take some photos. I want to meet you. I want to find out a little more about you if you're a listener. I love meeting listeners. It's kind of weird because people will come up and say, hey, I listened to the podcast, and we start chatting. And it's strange, but it's fun to meet folks that listen to the podcast, and it's exciting. I want to talk to you if you're going to be there. So please be sure to stop by, and we'll chat. We'll take some photos. We'll make a big deal out of it. So I'm looking forward to it. And keep your ears open for the next series of episodes coming out almost in real time. We're not gonna broadcast live. We are going to record little interviews and little snippets of information, little episodes, and actually push them that day. Each day we're at the conference. So you'll be able to get a recap of some of the best topics, break down what that means for you, give you the best tips that you can put into action right away. As always with this podcast, that's our focus. But we will be able to give that to you so you could attend the conference vicariously through the podcast. That's going to be kind of cool. So again, reach out, let us know what you think. Don't forget to hit that link for this free webinar series, 5 Ways to Combat Complacency in Safety. And I hope to see or hear from you on the next Safety Pro podcast episode. And as always, be safe.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Safety Pro Podcast, powered by iReportSource, the all-in-one digital safety solution. For info on how you can request a free demo on all the capabilities of iReportSource to streamline your business's safety management system, head over to thesafetypropodcast.com. We look forward to helping you manage safety on the next episode of the Safety Pro Podcast.